It was getting pretty late. I was thinking she might not come after all, when there was a knock at the door. Ah, come in. Salutations? Hey, Konami-chan, are you okay? But what are you implying? Well, your face is red, and your eyes are bloodshot. I cannot speak for my face, but my eyes are like this because I was reading. Reading? Huh. So she had to be reading this whole time. She really did take these things seriously. Not just the document you gave me, I also read the textbook from cover to cover. I now possess a reasonable amount of knowledge. I see. That's good. Don't tell me. Do not tell me you want to practice this. And that's why you came over. Probably is, though. So, I now understand many things regarding sexual stimulation and arousal. I see. Incidentally, the textbook stress the concept of love especially. Oh? They say that sexual intercourse comes from love. Is that true? Yeah, I'd say so. The awful man in that document said it many times too. I'm doing this because I love you, Mimiko. Then one could extrapolate that it is improper to perform the act without love, right? Yeah, that's definitely true. Then, let me ask you this. You, Masaya-sama, would never have intercourse with a woman you didn't love, right? The sheer frankness of her question had me speechless for a moment, but Konami-chan looked serious. I nodded hesitantly. I think probably not. Although I had never been in that situation before, I couldn't say for sure. Despite the ambiguity of my feelings. Like, I could say that word in my mind, but I can't say it out loud. It's weird. Though Konami-chan continued to press the issue. Ambiguity. You're not just saying what I want to hear? I nodded. I'm not. Then, if you become sexually aroused through stimulation from a woman you don't love, you are unquestionably a teenager servant. You acknowledge that, don't you? Yeah. Huh? Why would you say that? Somehow I felt as if the conversation had changed course on me. That doesn't matter because you'd be aroused either way. Very well. Then... Konami-chan turned her eyes away, still red in the face. I would like to test you. If I may? If I pass the test, will you accept me? Rather, will you accept Ben? At least, you'll know that we're not all seductive serpents, right? Yes. Good, then I'll take your test. And I'm probably gonna regret it. Konami shut her eyes very tightly. Her face had been red the entire time since she had arrived. I started to worry that it was a developmental fever. Are you sure about this? And why are you guys doing this in the hallway? Hello? I'm fine. Are you prepared? Prepared? Masaya-sama. Konami-chan's eyes snapped open. Really? I challenge you to a naked duel! Duel? I mean, a date. That's not really a date. Oh. I knew that the dorm had a communal bath, but I had never been inside it before. This looks more like a spa. Great spa. Well, after all, there were only girls in the building. A guy like me could hardly expect to bathe with it. It was empty at the moment. Konami-chan told me that students were forbidden from going in there at this hour. The entrance wasn't locked, and you could still turn the faucet to add hot water, but also no one ever broke the rule. I hope this is okay. I was afraid that if I turned her down, she would say, "You're going back on your word already?" So I had to go along with it. Of course. We won't really be naked. They always do this to us. Why? They're naked, but they're not. Then why say you're naked if you're not? I will be wearing a swimsuit. You should do the same. But there wasn't too much to object to under those conditions. Konami-chan told me to go on ahead, so I waited for her to arrive. I stood there, eyes on the dressing room, when I saw a petite silhouette enter. I drew into a corner and began to undress. Why are you still watching? Wow. Even though I know she's got a swimsuit underneath, it's still a little enticing. But Konami-chan probably told me to go first because she was embarrassed to be seen undressing. So I turned my eyes away and waited for her to come in. I heard the door open and turned back to face her. And of course it's a school swimsuit. There was nothing objectively weird about the two of us being in swimsuits, but it still felt strange. What, it'd be like taking a bath in your swimsuit? It's probably the location. It's still a bath after all. It also felt strange for the two of us to be alone together, half naked. And no, well, just you. Okay, what do we do now? Do you feel sexually stimulated by me? Huh? Fully naked would have been preferable, of course, but it seemed inappropriate, so... Konami-chan had that much common sense at least. I felt grateful for that. Sort of. You have no particular affection for me, Masaya-sama. If you are nevertheless feeling sexually stimulated. Then that would prove that you are an unabashed teenager serpent! It was true that I wasn't exactly in love with her. The Konami-chan was amazingly cute. She had a lot of girlish appeal. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't even slightly fazed by her right now. I see. So this is the test. Well? Konami-chan's body wriggled a little. It was probably an expression of embarrassment, but I couldn't help but see it as alluring. I just know I'm going to get pregnant? Just don't moan like that. I was on the verge of a dangerous reaction. But I held it in. That charming face, that fair skin, that slender bust, even though there's barely nothing there, those youthful hips. It was all really appealing, but sheer nervousness was helping me to keep control. That feels kind of wrong, because she's more like a little sister. Oh well. Konami-chan cast a glance back at me. Her eyes traced down to my lower abdomen. The gaze was certainly stimulating, but I somehow managed to keep it together. You don't appear to be aroused. Yeah. So is this enough? Did I pass the test? No, not yet. I know someone's just gonna walk in on them in an embarrassing moment, since it always happens. What do I have to do now? You're not going to touch me, are you? But where do you mean? Oh, you know, down there or something? Of course not! I see. Then, what are you going to do? Konami-chan looked towards the bathtub. We did come to the bath after all. We should take a bath. Oh, right. In her swimsuits. Konami-chan turned quickly and jumped into the water, then curled up self-consciously in the corner. I entered the water after her, sitting down some ways away from her. It was hot. It was actually tepid, but it felt strangely hot. Maybe it was because my body was flushed. Come closer to me! Now that they're in the hot tub-like area, this really reminds me of Sims. Huh? Konami-chan turned away from me. Sit back to back. Right. This isn't awkward at all. Kind of wish we could see our swimsuit, but oh well. It was truly a strange sensation sitting back to back in the water with a girl. Technically, we did have a swimsuit separating us, but it wasn't much of a boundary. I could still feel her skin through the thin cloth. My heart was racing so fast, it was hard to breathe. What do you think? Are you aroused yet? Masaya-sama? Hey, Konami-chan? How are you determining this? Huh? I mean, whether I'm aroused or not. Well, you know, in the textbook, it said... I gathered some warm water in my hands and started scrubbing my face. Well, I'm not aroused in that sense. Yet, at least I wasn't out of the danger zone yet. but I am aroused in a sense. Oh, no! All men do this, but that doesn't mean we're like the protagonist in that story. The difference is straightforward to me. But I guess it's not to you, huh? It is not. If we put people on a scale from normal to abnormal, what the vast majority does would be called normal, right? Yes? The vast majority of men would feel sexually aroused by you. Because you're cute, Konami-chan, men can't help having a reaction like that to cute girls. Even if they don't love them? Yes. And that's just a natural biological function for men? I'm pretty sure. I understand. I didn't even have time to feel relieved at her understanding before Konami-chan charged down a new path. But am I really cute? Yeah, I think you're cute. And she's kind of disappointed now. I see. You sound disappointed. I am a warrior. A warrior shouldn't be cute. They give me the title Big Non Poupe as well. I'm not fond of that title. I mean some kind of doll, right? Darling doll, yes. Well, I think it suits you though. Her warrior's pride aside, it described her appearance very well. What are you talking about? That's completely wrong! My true proper title is Not My Son's Mercy! Which means the merciless bread. I always want to say bread. Probably hungry. The Merciless Blade. One of Yonsei's Konami's titles. Her made-up title. Huh? Don't act so shocked! Are you saying that I'm wrong? No, I don't mean that. I've just never heard it before. Never? I see. I suppose there aren't many people who call me by that one. It's rare to have two titles, right? Well, I suppose it is. So what does it mean? The Merciless Blade. That's amazing. They gave me that title after seeing how I fight in my Naginata matches. I take pride in it. Wow. I was genuinely impressed. I have been working to get people to call me by that title instead. Maybe the reason you have to work so hard is because Big Non Poupe suits you better. What are you talking about? That is absolutely not true! But that's how titles work, right? I knew that if I let it go, we'd go back to talking about men's biological functions, so I decided to argue a bit. It's true that you're cute, after all. You keep saying that! Over and over again! You really are a teenager serpent, aren't you? I guess it did sound like I was flirting.
少しがっかりしました。やっぱり男なんて。
I'm rather disappointed. So men really are? Well, remember what Ayaka-san said? If the whole world was made up of saints, we'd never reproduce. You shouldn't be so fastidious either. After you graduate, you might still want a boyfriend.
私にはお姉様がいます。彼氏だなんて。
I have my Oni-sama. I don't need a boyfriend. A brother. I decided not to comment on that. And let the conversation turn to Ritsuko-chan. You seem to respect Ritsuko-chan a lot, Konami-chan. Yes, I do. Was there something in particular that kicked that off?
はい。忘れもしません。あれは入学式の日のことでした。
Yes, I can never forget. It was the day of the entrance ceremony. Flashback? Her tone... Probably not. Her tone was soft, and the tension in her back had relaxed.
私は中期から入ったんです。だから当日はとても心細く思っていました。
I started here in intermediary, so I was very nervous back then. So, most of the girls I've been seeing start in primary, right?
はい。周りは知り合いばっかりで、私一人がポツンと孤立しているように感じました。
Yes, everyone already seemed to know each other, and I stood out. It was lonely.
知り合いなどいないのだから、当然といえば当然なのに、周りからことさらに無視されているような、そんな感じがしたんです。
I didn't know anybody there, so I suppose it was natural. But it felt like everyone else was going out of their way to ignore me. I see. I could imagine.
そんな時、声をかけてくれたのがお姉様です。
And in my loneliness, it was Oni-sama who first spoke to me.
入学式が催される大聖堂に向かっていると、不意に声をかけられました。
I was heading to the cathedral, where the opening ceremony was being held, when suddenly a voice called to me.
近づいてくる女性を見て、なんて綺麗な人なのだろうと、そう思ったことを覚えています。
I saw a woman walking towards me, and I remember thinking that she was so beautiful.
同時に、こんな綺麗な人が私に何の用があるのか、初対面のお姉様を前に、私は立ちすくんでしまいました。
And I thought, what could someone so beautiful want with me? Standing in front of Oni-sama for the first time, I was mesmerized.
すると、優しい手つきで体を直してくれたのです。曲がっているわよ、と。
Then, with gentle hands, she straightened my bow, and she said, "It's crooked."
お礼さえ言えずに固まってしまった私に、お姉様は笑みを向けると、さっそうと去っていきました。
I was so paralyzed, I couldn't even thank her. But she smiled at me and gracefully took her leave.
あの後ろ姿のかっこよかったこと。
Watching her walk away, she looked so amazing.
あの時のことを思い出すと、今でも胸がときめきます。
Thinking about it makes my heart race, even now. Konami-chan was unusually talkative when discussing that precious memory.
あの時、私は一生お姉様についていくことを決めました。同時に、お姉様を私が守ると。
In that moment, I decided I would follow Oni-sama for the rest of my life, that I would always protect her.
だから私はこんなことまでして。
That's why I'll even do things like this. Things like this?
あなたのテストですよ。本当にお姉様と接触してもいいのか、私は今でも不安に思っているんです。
Testing you, because I have my doubts about whether it's safe for you to interact with Oni-sama. I guess this has all been pretty hard on you too, huh?
それは決まってます。水着なんか着てお風呂に入って。
Of course it is! Putting on a swimsuit? Getting in the bath?
まあマサヤ様にとってもいい迷惑かもしれませんが。
I guess it's been a lot of trouble for you too, Messiah-sama. No, it's not any trouble at all. So, how did I do? Did I pass the test? Do you think?
なんだかわからなくなってきました。最初はあれを見れば判断できると思っていたのに。
I don't know what to think anymore. I thought I would know for certain after I saw it.
あなたは性的な興奮はそればかりでもないなどと言います。
But now you're saying that there's more to sexual arousal than that? It's the truth.
わかりました。じゃあ延長戦といきましょう。
I understand. Then we'll go into overtime. What are we going to do?
そうですね。今私たちはお風呂に入っているわけですから。じゃあ背中を流します。
Let me think. We're already in the bath, so I'll wash your back. What, mine? Are you sure about that?
何を嬉しそうにしているんですか。これはテストなんですからね。
Don't act so pleased about it. This is just a test. I know that, but it's the first time that a girl has ever washed my back before. Konami-chan stood up with a splash. I followed her lead. Are you really sure about this?
どうぞ。
Yes! Go ahead! If you insist. I turned to sit on the stool. A moment later, I felt her behind me, holding her breath.
マサヤ様。それ。
Messiah-sama? What? Oh, so the chapter's all about me then, for once. Huh? Oh, the scar on my back?
はい。
Yes! Probably battle scar from fighting all those goons. It's hard to communicate while facing away from her, so I turned back. I guess that's the first time you've seen my back? You didn't notice it when I was naked in the Red Rose Society room?
気がつきませんでした。
I didn't notice anything like this. It must have been a shock then. I'm sorry.
いいえ。
Not at all. I reached out to touch the scar. It was a slick, enticing sensation.
どうしたんですか？その傷は。
How did you get this? Oh, I don't actually know myself. Suddenly, it was just there. I really don't know how I got it.
そんな。だってとても大きいですよ。知らないうちにできるような傷とはとても思えない。
That can't be. But it's so big. This isn't a scar you get without knowing. You may be right. But I really don't remember it. I had felt shocked myself the first time I saw it in the mirror. It was discolored. In other words, it came from a deep wound and ran all the way from my shoulder blade to my hip. Oh, that's basically your entire back. I had craned my neck to look at it in the mirror, horrified. It's not only the sheer size of the scar that was disturbing, but the fact that I didn't remember getting it.
マサヤ様、もう一度見せてもらってもいいですか？
Messiah-sama, can I have another look at it? I turned back around. With a soft touch of her fingertip, my back arched automatically. Is this part of the test? But it wasn't. Konami-chan spoke in a firm tone.
やっぱりこれは。
Is it a scar from a naginata? Or a blade? I knew it! This is... She traced this link. It tickled. Had to keep from writhing in the solemn atmosphere.
私、幼い頃、剣の師匠でもある祖母に聞いたことがあります。
My grandmother was also my fencing instructor. When I was young, she told me something. But what is it?
背中に刀の傷跡があるとしたら、それは敵から逃げるためか、それとも
A blade scar on someone's back means that they have run away from an enemy. Or... a blade? Now that you mention it, could that scar have come from a bladed weapon?
誰かを守るためにできるものだと
That they were protecting someone. Probably the latter. Just then the floor began to shake slightly and then violently. Earthquake! I guess for an earthquake, I guess to be in an open bathhouse would probably wouldn't be the worst, because all you have to worry about is the ceiling. But the ground could open up too, and yeah, I don't know. This is a big one. I spread out my arms to keep my balance. Konami-chan gripped my hand in fear. I held her back tightly. The shaking continued. I happened to catch sight of something out of the corner of my eye. Is the faucet turning on? It was most likely due to the tremors. Suddenly, I felt a pain like thousands of needles pierced my back. Ow! 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 Its shower was spewing hot water. The faucet was set to hot, and the earthquake had turned it on at full blast. Wow. Look out! I scooped up Konami-chan in my arms and ran out of the shower. Phew, that was hot. I turned around to see the steam rising. Are you okay? I need to cool you down fast! Alright. He dragged me off to another shower and quickly turned on the faucet. The cold water rained down, and I felt a sense of relief. When you get a burn, the most important thing to do is to cool it off. Turn around, please! Your back is probably ruined, though. I did as she asked, and she started showering me off. It's turning red! Is there any blistering? It doesn't look like it, but... then it's probably fine. Are you okay, Konami-chan? Yes, I'm fine, because Masaya-sama, you protected me. For the second time. I see. Does it hurt? He touched me gently with the finger, just as before. A little bit, but now that it's cooled down, it should heal quickly. Do you think that the burn will leave a scar too? Probably. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, right? Couldn't say for sure, but at least the pain was subsiding. Konami-chan confirmed my thought, but seemed strangely flustered. And it's already night? Wow. I guess it was because of the earthquake. There was a small skylight close to the ceiling, so I could make out some faint silhouettes. Other than that, it was dark. What's wrong? I could feel a faint trembling in the shower behind me. You aren't scared of the dark, right? You're already scared of heights. I'm scared. I'm scared of the dark. Let's get out of here then. The burn's healed anyway. Right. However, it won't open. I knew it. Knew it. Of course, every time an earthquake happens, some entrance gets sealed off. turned back to her with a troubled expression, my hand still on the door. The door won't open. It can't be! She pushed me aside and tried her hand at the door. But even with our strength behind it, it still wouldn't open. It must have warped due to the earthquake. It was a pretty big one after all. Hey! I yelled as loud as I could and banged on the door. I trained my ears and remained silent for about a minute, but I couldn't sense anyone outside. Damn.
大浴場は建物の端にありますし、今は本来入ってはいけない時間帯です。だから
The bath is on the edge of the building, and this is after normal bathing hours. So,
先生方もわざわざ見回りには来ないのではないかと。
the teachers probably won't be coming to check this area. And people probably all, like, ran outside or something because of the earthquake. Yeah, you're probably right. It occurred to me that Konami-chan was hugging herself and trembling. Are you cold? Konami-chan shook her head. I'm scared. Oh, I see. I'm here with you. That helps. I didn't expect that to be much comfort, but to my surprise, Konami-chan moved over to cling to me. I'm sorry, but please let me do this. Sure. Here in the dark with our bodies close together, the sensation was even more stimulating than before. But there was nothing arousing about the situation. On the contrary, I knew I had to be strong. Konami-chan will pick up on any signs of fear that I show. I took her by the hand and led her over to the wall. We'll get tired if we stay standing. Let's sit down. I sat down first. Konami-chan sat next to me, her body continuing to tremble. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. Well, we have plenty of water. A human being can live for a whole week on just water alone. There's nothing to worry about. Don't say scary things like that! Well, joking aside, hope will come soon. The night can't last forever. Right. In the silence, I was even more conscious of the sounds of the bath. The steady drip, drip, drip from the ceiling. But more than anything, there was the breathing right beside me. As my eyes adjusted to the dark, I couldn't see that Konami-chan was visibly stiff. What do you do with the lights when it's time to sleep? I decided it was best to talk, no matter what it was about. I leave my desk light on. It keeps me calm. I see. Personally, I can't sleep unless it's pitch black. My grandmother taught me that it's best to have a light on, so that you can react in the event of a night raid. Who would be running a night raid on you? I don't know, but still. Besides, if they were really serious, they'd probably just pull out the plug first. Don't say such awful things like that! You're an interesting person, Konami-chan. Well, why are you laughing? I've never met a girl who was worried about night raids before. I'm not very girlish at all. I don't think that's true. The title Mignon Poupée, it really doesn't suit me. That suits you. It really does. Before now, she appeared unhappy when I insisted on that point, but this time, she seemed to like it. Is your grandmother the one who taught you the naginata?
はい、そうなんです。護身術にもなるからと。
Yes, she was. She thought it would help me protect myself. I started prompting her to tell me more about her childhood. As she spoke, I could tell the tension was draining out of her. The tension was apparently replaced by exhaustion. She attempted to stifle a yawn. I turned my eyes towards the changing room. Things looked pretty much the same there. The door probably wasn't going to open. Sleepy?
ああ、少し。普段だったら多分寝ている時間なので。
Yes, a little. I think this would normally be my bedtime. You can sleep then. You can't stay up all night after all.
眠いけど寝られるかな。やっぱり暗いのが怖いし。
I'm sleepy, but I don't know if I can sleep. I really am afraid of the dark. I'll stay up until you go to sleep. Sort of the opposite of how it was in the classroom. I don't know if that means anything though. But
じゃあいいですか？
well, are you certain? I am. Konami-chan's expression relaxed, and she rested her head on my shoulder. I wasn't prepared for her to go that far. I felt my heart pounding a bit. It seemed like Konami-chan had spent the whole day going from one sort of tension to another. But she finally began producing the noises of peaceful sleep. She really must have been exhausted. Ever since the teaching started, her mind had been constantly engaged. Even in their state of dress, it was warm inside the bath. Once she was fast asleep, I felt my own eyelids grow heavy. That's right. I wonder if I passed the test. We had gone through all that, and I still didn't know if I passed or failed. Oh, well, anyway. The echoes of the bath and the pleasant warmth against my skin slowly pulled me into unconsciousness. And ellipses. And it's daytime outside. The lights are on! It was light outside the windows too. Sounds like you're choking. Konami began to yawn, but quickly covered it with a hand. That was the most basic of Feliz de la Vincine's etiquette. Normally, she woke up quickly, but now her sleepiness lingered. Of course, this environment was hardly conducive to sound sleep. Even so, she wasn't as uncomfortable as she expected to be, despite sleeping in the dark. I wonder why. She heard a voice beside her and she turned around quickly. That's right! Masaya-sama is here! She noticed a mark on his shoulder from where she had rested her head and flushed. What was I thinking? Ah, that's right! Speaking of marks, she turned Masaya over and looked at his back. Because apparently she has the strength to do that. He remained fast asleep. Oh. The burn wasn't inflamed, and even the redness was gone. With that concern past, she turned her attention to the scar. How on earth did he get an injury like this? Masaya said he had no memory of it. He didn't seem to be lying either.
いずれにしろこの傷はきっと
Either way, the scar is definitely... Like a butterfly to nectar, she placed a finger to the scar. Huh? And switched point of views again. My eyes fluttered open. I blinked a few times, and the room grew lighter around me. Oh, the lights are back on? What time is it? What's wrong? Hanami-chan turned an even deeper red.
いえ顔を洗ってきます
Nothing. I'm going to wash my face. Sure. I decided to wash up too. As I stood up, I felt a stinging pain in my back muscles. So tired. I was better rested than I thought I'd be, but of course it was no substitute for a bed. And a bunch of gargling. I'd washed up and then started gargling when I saw someone enter the changing room.
マサヤ様うがいした水を飲む人なんですかちょっとショック
Masai-sama? You drink your gargle water? I'm shocked. No, it's not that. I indicated to the door with my chin. Huh? It won't open. We think it might have warped from the earthquake last night. Is that Okanagi Masai-kun? Yes. And there's someone else? What are you two doing in there? Whoops, forgot to consider how someone else might interpret the situation. And you're naked? How improper! We're in bathing suits, actually. You think that makes a difference? It made a big difference, actually. But I guess it didn't make the situation any less suspicious. Damn, I'm gonna get expelled at this rate. But, wait a minute, Kato-sensei? Is that Konami? Are you alright? There's no problem whatsoever! Huh? Still sounds wrong though. Oh. Masai-sama's not a teenager servant. He kept me safe all night long. Even the teachers. Do you understand what you're saying? Huh? You said all night long? What were you two doing in the bath to begin with? Well, it's my fault. I gave Konami-chan a wink. I really wanted to try out the public bath, so I figured it would be okay if I did it late at night while wearing a swimsuit. Then Konami showed up too. I think she wanted to practice her dog paddle. Dog paddle? I winked desperately at her. Yes, that's right. Summer is nearing after all. I thought it would be acceptable to try it when no one was here. And that's why you're wearing a swimsuit? Yes. I see. Anyway, we need to get the door open. I'll expect you to explain again then. With the teacher gone, we let out a sigh of relief. I lied to a teacher. I've never lied to a teacher before. Well, it's definitely better than the truth. Well, that's okay. Little white lies are a natural part of student life. That is true. Huh. It was the first time Konami-chan had ever smiled naturally at me. What is it? Nothing. The teacher was back with a few more people in tow. As the amateur carpenters went at it outside, I spoke up. So, did I pass the test? Yes! Don't worry. You pass. I'm glad. And it's the 26th. Regardless of anything else, we had broken the rules, and we got a good scolding before class began. When we were finally free from the tongue lashing and out in the hallway, we shared a smile. A smile of accomplices. Konami-chan and I were partners in crime. When I thought about it that way, the tongue lashing we had received didn't feel so bad. You're yawning an awful lot today. Yeah, I'm pretty sleepy. No one else seemed to know what happened. The teachers must have kept the information tightly under wraps, for once. I guess the earthquake woke me up. Oh, the one from last night? Yes, it was quite large. It surprised me too. Myself as well. Panterville was so frightened, he began crying. The earthquake caused all the power to go off last night. Well, I suppose most of us had retired by then. But what about the goods in the refrigerators? That is one thing I'm worried about. That's a good point. I believe the school has generators that activate automatically during an emergency. I'm sure they're fine. Wow, really? Yes. Are generators so unusual? Oh no, it's not that. It just surprised me, since the power in the baths had gone off. Of course, I didn't say that. I just said the lights in my room weren't working. Ah, the generators are usually used to power the most important utilities, like the refrigerators. Huh, I see. And everyone's all together having tea. Except for Konami. After lunch, we had all had tea together. Konami isn't coming today? It seems not. It seems she's not. Do you need her for something? Nothing like that. I was just wondering if her training from yesterday paid off. Training? Just call it education. I guess I should. What are you talking about? We decided to teach Konami, Masaya-kun and I. And what do you think we taught her? I have no idea. Come on, that's no fun. But I have no idea what it could be. It's a curious combination, though. Do the two of you serve as teachers? Well, that was kind of superfluous. Masaya-kun was the real star. As for what we were teaching her, Miyako-san turned a dramatic pause and grinned. Sex education. Oh my. Mitsuko-chan, who had previously shown no interest in the subject, now appeared shocked. Her eyes went wide. Sex education? Oh, actually went backwards. At least now I know. Come on! Remember how you had to apologize for her 2 nights ago? Kanami kept saying those weird things. That is true, but... That's why! Sex education! And I thought it would be best if we had Masai-kun there to act out examples. What? Act out examples? Please stop lying. I decided to explain. There's no acting out of examples. I just read from the textbook. Well, I see. You gave me quite a shock. Oh, but you taught her a lot of things about boys. Like about your first shot? I didn't teach her that. It was just a slip of the tongue. First shot? First shot of what? It means his first ejaculation. I wondered how we got onto the subject in the middle of the afternoon. It didn't seem like polite tea time conversation. I felt very aware of my crotch all of a sudden, and suddenly closed my knees. Really? So, how old were you? Why do we have to talk about this? He has a point. Everyone went strangely quiet. Only Yaka-san seemed perfectly at ease, and continued. Anyway, at the end of the day, I wasn't sure if she understood or not. How did it turn out? Why are you asking Masaya-sama? Huh? You taught her together, didn't you? Well... well, more or less. She seemed like she understood, but... I see. Then teaching her was worth it. It seemed like Ayaka-san really was worried about Konami-chan. She certainly liked to make jokes, but it was good to see that there were some things she cared about. She took those things seriously. Huh, that looks like Konami now. Mitsuko-chan raised her hand, and Konami-chan walked towards us a bit more quickly. Salutations! Salutations. You're a bit late today. Yes, I wanted to see Masaya-sama in advance, but he had already left his classroom. What, me? Others looked on in suspicion. There's one thing that I wanted to tell you clearly. What is it? I am going to stop referring to you as Teenager Serpent. Oh, I appreciate that. I understand now. That is definitely not who you are. That said, you are not a saint. At least now that you are just a regular boy.
せん。
Which means there's no reason to force your expulsion you from the school. Still sounds weird, I don't know. Huh. I never thought I would hear those words from Konami-chan's lips.
ただし、私は紅バラ会の会友であり、会頭はお姉様のいらっしゃいます。
However, I am an affiliate of the Red Rose Society, and its leader is my Oni-sama.
紅バラ会の勝利に向けて邁進するということに関しては決して変わりませんからね。
My determination to see a Red Rose Society victory has not changed in the slightest. Huh. I had a feeling that would be the case.
あら？急にどうしたの？二人の間で何かあったのかしら？
Huh? But why so suddenly? What happened between the two of you? The information hadn't gotten out yet, but while I was choosing my words, Konami-chan just spoke up offhandedly.
私たち裸のお付き合いをしたのです。
You would just say it like that. We had a naked date! Huh? What?
嘘。
Excuse me?
あらもう。
Oh my.
そうしてみてわかりました。マサエ様は私に性的な興奮を覚えたそうなので、その意味では普通の男子です。
That is how I came to my realization. Masaya-sama does feel sexual arousal towards me, and he is a normal boy in that respect. Let out a pitiful noise, but Konami-chan continued without seeming to notice.
ただ、あそこの変化は確認できませんでしたので、だからセーフかなと。
However, I witnessed no change down there, so I believe that he is safe.
あなた、一体何を言ってるのよ。
What? What are you even talking about? Yakusama's face had frozen in an expression that almost looked like laughter. Alas, she noticed the group's dumbfounded reaction and her cheeks turned bright red.
すみません。ゆうべは性的な興奮がどうとかいう話ばかりしていたので、つい。
I'm sorry. We spent so much time last night talking about sexual arousal. Konami-chan, just.
はい。
Right.
ということで、お姉様、タンタトルセルパーの疑惑は晴れたことですし、今後はあまり警戒する必要はないかと思います。
Regardless, Oni-sama, I've cleared up my doubts regarding the teenager servant. You have no further need to be on your guard.
そう。
I see. Atsuko nodded hesitantly in response to Konami-chan's proclamation. And they are really angry. Of course.
なんかリセさんと千穂さん、背中の空気が揺らめいているわよ。
What is all this? It's like the air around Rise-san and Chiyo-san is becoming superheated.
おっと、もう時間ですね。では私はお先に失礼します。ごきげんよう。
Ah, look at the time. I should be going now. Salutations.
私も行くわ。
I'll join you. Atsuko-chan stood up, looking slightly panicked.
私も。
As will I. The others quickly dispersed, leaving only the White Lily Society members behind. Well, I should get going.
待った。
Wait,
お待ちを。
just a moment. I felt a tight grip on both my arms. For such delicate girls, they were surprisingly strong. What is it?
説明がまだですもの。
You still have some explaining to do.
そうそう。
That's right.
まさや。
Rise-san and Chiyo-san slowly turned towards me. Their faces were about so that I couldn't see their expressions, but I could tell they were frightening. Then they both drew towards me. I could feel the violent pressure drawing near. I stood up to run, but they held my arms tightly.
一体どういう
What would you... what was she talking about? I feel like I almost bit my tongue there. And they're killing me once again. Explain yourself at once! Ugh. I wanted to explain, I really did, but the tight grip around my neck made it impossible. And the end of the chapter, which was surprisingly short. Well, only by like 5 or 7 minutes, but still. Chapter 8, the example of the Good Samaritan. And it's May 30th. And we're back in the garden. And it's after school. Well, anyways, guys, that's it for now. I'm Celestial Shadows, and thank you for watching this episode, or this part, of Princess Evangile. But I'm going to end it here since I'm hungry. So thank you guys for watching again, but bye for now.